It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we got a beer from Salt Brewing Company. I picked it up in Morrisons and this is a can of the Drip. A double dry hopped New England IPA in a 440ml can that cost me £4. £4, and it was a refrigerated beer. What I like about Morrisons is the fact that I think they're the only supermarket that store their craft beer in fridges. Not all of the craft beer. Some of the kind of select craft beers, you will find them in fridges, and I think that's kind of cool. Don't see it in Tesco. You certainly don't see it in Lidl or Aldi. You don't see it in Sainsbury's, Asda. Yeah, it's kind of just Morrisons really that you find some beer in the fridge, which is cool because it's keeping the hops nice and fresh. That's the reason. Fridges are my new favourite thing when it comes to beer because I've been reading a book, and this book has been marvellous, about the first industrial fridge that was installed in the Spaten Brewery 200 years ago. So thick and tropical, 7% ABV. Let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. A little bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass. Kind of really hoping it's going to be worth the £4 I paid. You never really know with supermarket craft beer these days what you're going to get. The last Salt beer I bought in the supermarket was it was actually a collaboration with Hooch. It was the Twisting My Lemon Man, and I hated it. I absolutely hated it. It made me really angry, and it made me be really angry at Salt for producing such a horrendous beer, because normally their supermarket craft beer offerings are really good. They're a reliable source for supermarket craft beer. So let's hope this is back to producing great beer in the supermarket. You would hope so for £4 a can. One Finger Whitehead, hazy. I'm not going to call it straw coloured. Hazy kind of. It's kind of murky, isn't it? A murky coloured, almost a muddied water coloured beer. Not much in the way of carbonation, but the head is sticking around quite well. Let's get the aroma. Smells good. Tropical, pineapple. They've described it as thick. So they've described it as, they've called it Drip, and they've described it as thick, which hopefully there's a load of oats in the beer to give it a big, thick, creamy mouthfeel. There's only one way to find out. Cheers, everybody. Oh. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. That's pushing. I'm going to describe it as very modern. A very modern IPA. It's interesting in the sense that you've got a really thick, creamy mouthfeel. But it's pineapple and it's IPA. They're calling it a double dry hop New England IPA. So, but it almost has elements of one of those modern sour beers. And that's because of its creaminess, its thickness. It's really quite dense, the liquid. but they've pulled it off. It's really good. It's like pulling back from the precipice of that kind of like pulp. That, of course, because it's not pulp, is it? It's not pulp concentrates or fruit concentrates, but it's almost as if they've tried to engineer it to be almost like a pulp, almost like a pineapple pulp of a mouthfeel in the beer, but they've refrained from putting actual pineapple pulp in the beer, thankfully. Or I believe, I'm pretty sure it's hops that they've used in this beer. But it's really interesting. It's really quite good because of the fact that they've managed to create this big, thick, creamy mouthfeel and add a load of hops to the beer to get it to almost be like a slight hybrid of a modern sour beer. Am I making sense? No, it's well crafted. Have a look at that bit. You can see the thickness in the beer as I rock the beer back and forth. You can see that carbonation rising up the side of the glass. You can see that lacing. You can see the quality of the beer. You can see that they've made a pretty decent effort with this beer. Is it lactose? Is it oats? I'm going to go with oats. I'm going to say this is definitely oats in the beer. Let's have a look on the side of the can. Have I really touched a lot on the mouthfeel, haven't I? Flavours it's very much tangerine, pineapple, touch of grapefruit, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of bitterness. It's that classic New England IPA taste in the beer. A little bit of peppery bitterness on the back end, but with pineapple, a pineapple style of hop, a hop that produces pineapple flavours. Right, drip. One of the juiciest, dankest New England IPAs we've ever created. This one does what it says on the tin, dripping with passion fruit, papaya and mango. Brewed with stacks of oats for a super thick and sticky, a silky mouthfeel. The ingredients, importantly, are water, malted barley, oats, wheat and hops. So there's no passion fruit or papaya or mango in here. It's just a case that they've used hops that depict it, that give off a lovely pineapple-like flavour to the beer. Brewed in Shipley, Bingley Road in Saltaire. Sorry, not Shipley, Bingley Road in Saltaire. They're good. Yeah, I think Salt have pulled it back. They pulled it back from that awful blooming hooch twisting my lemon. That really did twist my lemon in real life. I was so angry with that beer. Rating for this one: salt drip. Back to the good quality salt beers, I would say. Looks good, smells good, tastes good. Worth a £4? This day and age, absolutely. They're charging £4, £5 a pint down Wetherspoons now. Can of this instead, 7% ABV from Morrisons. Yeah, definitely. I like it enough to give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Please put your comments in the comments box, subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews, give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom, cheers.